Welcome back, WNST, Towson, Baltimore, and WNST.net. You know, I've been telling you so much about our incredible tech service now in its 13th year. Of course, brought to you by Coons Ford of Security Boulevard. And of course, Dennis Koulatsos joins us twice each week on my program, usually in the beginning of the week. Hopefully, this time next week, talking about a win over Miami. And of course, here each and every Thursday from 3 until 5 live, bringing you the SSV that you can hear before the games on Sunday. Dennis, we got a real football game here this week, and but before we get to this, I want to celebrate the watermelon with you, the gold watermelon, because I think we have one more week of gold watermelon. I need someone to go down to the farmer's market and fetch me one this week before they run out, because I'm going to be in Miami, man.
Yeah, you know what? It was wonderful. First time ever for the family. It did not make it through the night, Nestor. By the time I turned around between Crystal and Margot, it was all gone. I savored a few pieces. It was wonderful. Thank you very much for bringing it to me.
How many people are fed on that watermelon? 3?
2.5.
All right, so no one else had a yellow watermelon either, right?
Nope.
All right, so I'm. By the way, you know what I learned this week, Dennis? And I did not get one because they were $8 and I already had one. There are orange watermelons too. Did you know this?
Really? Did not know that. My goodness.
It looks like orange sherbet. It's like the color of my Strategic Factory cup here. Yeah.
There you go.
So you can get an orange one as well next summer. I'm learning. It's the things you learn after you know everything, Dennis. And I thought you had to throw the football to win a Super Bowl. I thought you had to have a 6'5", 6'6" rifle. Boy, the Ravens are going to do this differently beginning this week. And I know, despite the fact that I'm wearing a Miami Dolphins colored shirt here, my Strategic Factory shirt, this is a real sell-off of the Dolphins. I mean, if the Ravens aren't 2-0 2 weeks from now, there should be an investigation into their playoff hopes.
Well, yeah, if they have, I'm sure they have playoff plans, and those plans can be enhanced by 2 victories against probably and arguably 2 of the worst teams in the league. These are must-win games, Nestor. Make no mistake about it. The game that they're supposed to win, the Ravens have got to go out there and take care of business and come away 2-0. That way, if they have any kind of hiccups during the course of the year, they've got some tough games coming up. You've got the Chiefs, the Browns, and the Steelers, and they need some cushion for sure. Can't even split these 2 games, Nestor. Even 1-1, if they come out of the first 2 games 1-1, to me, it'll be a very, very bad thing, a very bad situation. 2-0, they've got to be thinking 2-0. That has to be the message from John Harbaugh. Yes, 1 game at a time, but looking ahead, they've got to be able to get out of the first 2 games 2-0 against 2 very poor teams.
You know, my wife and I were planning the trip down to Miami. I had 3 different itineraries. You know, at one point I was going to fly in Thursday night, lay on the beach, and then it was like, well, you know, let's stay through Monday. Nah, let's see. We're turning out, we're in and out. We're using this totally as a business trip, you know, in and out for the game, down and back, the whole deal. I'm thinking traffic's not going to be an issue Sunday, getting over it. I may be able to sneak a Sunday morning beach day out of this because I might not have to head over to the stadium at about 11:30. I mean, I don't know how the Dolphins fans even show up at this. I mean, you talk about what the Orioles have done, or maybe even last year what the Raiders did, and they're a franchise on the move, so that's a whole different thing there. But this is very, very weird down in South Florida what the Dolphins have done under Flores, right?
Well, it really is, and I don't know how much the weather, the hurricane down there is a factor at this point. I know it'll be long gone by the time by the time kickoff comes around. But that aside, they trade away their left tackle, and is it Julian Davenport or Danny Isidora? So that bodes well for the Ravens defense. They should be able to get out after Ryan Fitzpatrick and give the young guys like Tyus Bowser, Tim Williams, a good run at him. But look, they got to stop the run, stop the Dolphins from running the ball on them, and hopefully Fitzpatrick doesn't have time to get hot, and they can go down there and impose a will on them. And hopefully, Nestor, this will be over by halftime.
Well, I mean, from your lips to the creator's ears, I would say. Dennis Koulatsos joining us here from Coons Ford of Security Boy. Hey, how was your weekend? You had big Labor Day out there, right?
Big Labor Day weekend. We sold a lot of cars, trucks, SUVs, pre-loved vehicles. Just can't thank our customers and our listeners enough. They support us real well. We do a ton of repeat and referral business. That's our business model, and a very, very busy time of the year for us, Nestor. And right now we got back to school, and people are buying cars for kids in high school and college and whatnot. So business continues to be very, very brisk.
You had a good weather weekend. We all had a good weather weekend around here. It really does feel good to have football back. So, just standard question for everybody. I started with Luke and Coach Billick as well earlier this week. What's got you excited? I mean, above and beyond Lamar, what are you looking for from this team? Not just this week against a poor opponent, but, where we're going to be 6, 8, 10 weeks from now. What is going to be the identity of this team, and what's your level of expectation about where they're going to be, let's say, after the Seattle game when we go to bye?
I think they have a chance to be a very good team. I look at the lines. I look at offensive lines and defensive lines, and Pro Football Focus, which I respect very much, as I know you and Luke do as well. They have the Ravens' offensive line ranked number 11 in the league, and contrast that to the Browns at number 21. Cam Robinson is their left tackle, and that's all you need to know about that squad. So as long as the lines hold up, the offensive line holds up for Lamar, for the running backs, to give him time to find receivers, and the defensive line, as long as they can definitely stop the run, the front seven, and if they can exert some pressure on their quarterback, that's what the game, that's what it's all about. So people get geeked up about the skilled players of Cleveland. I'm geeked up about what this team can do. The defense is younger. It should be faster. And with the addition of Earl Thomas back there, I think the sky is the limit for this team. They can mix and match, and Wink Martindale has certainly lots of pieces to move things around and make it interesting for the opposition. And look, the floor for this team to me is 8 wins, and the ceiling's probably 11 wins. I expect them to have a very good year. I think they're very much under the radar. I think they're underrated. I think people are making fun of their offense, but as Ray Lewis has said many times, Nestor, it's still football, right? They still have to line up. You can scheme it up any way you want to. You can know what's coming, but you still have to stop it. Now, this team has speed now at wide receiver. They have bigger, stronger, faster players. They have better personnel than they had a year ago on the offensive side of the ball, and to me, that bodes well for this team's future.
Left guard, it's very weird to go. You talk about the offensive line being number 11. All that. I don't believe in any of the. I like those rankings, like the college football rankings. Then you got to get out and do it. And clearly they didn't love Illuminor. And, even Willie Henry. I mean, there have been some shakeups around here. It's been a camp where you've had to earn your way onto the team.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. But Ben Powers looks like he solidified that left guard position, at least for the moment. Again, got a very good grade by PFF, about 75.9, and didn't allow any pressures. I watched the entire game, the fourth game of the preseason, and you know what? He was pancaking people. He was moving real well, and pass blocking, it's not his forte, but this team is going to run the ball, and I think he does, being an Oklahoma guy, along with Orlando Brown Jr. there, they have some continuity, and if he can thicken that relationship between himself and Ronnie Stanley and Matt Skora, look, they'll have 2 games to get their act together by the time they face some more formidable opposition. And I'm very excited about the young man. If he can get in there and if the other 4 linemen can stay healthy, this can be a top 10 offensive line in the league. They were right there a year ago. I mean, they had a bad game in the playoff loss to the Chargers, and that's why the team lost. It was more the offensive line than Marty Mornhinweg's scheme. I mean, he was made the scapegoat, and rightfully so, but the O-line they just got whooped at the point of attack by the defensive line of the Chargers. So I think the Ravens will go as this offensive line goes, plus, of course, the overall health of the team.
I think Eric DeCosta won August, right? I mean, trading away kickers that haven't made field goals and might become punters and trading away Illuminor. But all that being said, the pass rush and the left guard, these are going to be the 2 things we're looking at. Where is the pass rush coming from? And bringing back McPhee and saying that Judon. But at some point, Tyus Bowser, somebody is going to have to be the one that gets after the quarterback. And I look at this Ryan Fitzpatrick situation. I look at No Tunzel this week. This should be a week where somebody gets off and has themselves a little feast. This better be a week where you get the Ryan Fitzpatrick 4 or 5 times, right?
Absolutely. But I do think that pass rush overall in the league is overrated, and I think that's why Eric DeCosta has invested his money on the back end, the secondary with Earl Thomas and everybody else that the team has back there. And the reason is, even if you can get to the quarterback, you have guys like Tom Brady. They get rid of the ball before you can beat your man clean. And Joey Bosa complained that in his playoff loss to the Dolphins, that even when he beat his offensive lineman clean, by the time he got to Tom Brady, the ball was out of his hand.
Sure.
Yeah, the ball's gone. So to me, to a degree.
That was Peyton Manning, right? Peyton Manning never got hit, literally, right?
Same thing. Sure. That's why Peyton played until 40 years old, because he never got hit. So
Drew Brees doesn't get hit. I mean, look at him, right?
He doesn't. He takes 3 steps, that ball's gone. You're not going to get to him. You're not going to lay a glove on him. While the ball is still
as opposed to the offense we have around here that's designed to run into linebackers. I mean, it is crazy. It's crazy,
correct.
Dennis.
It's a different offense, you know what? And then also, by having Earl Thomas back there and Jimmy Smith and Tony Jefferson and Marlon Humphrey, as the defensive backs are stickier, that does give the defensive lineman an extra second or two to get to the quarterback. So it's cause and effect. So I think not only will I be stickier, it'll also help that back end. That back end will help improve the Ravens' pass rush for sure.
Dennis, who's in the Super Bowl? What do you got? Or do I have to wait till Thursday in the SSV for that?
You know what? I saw a sexy pick yesterday. I saw the Saints and the Chiefs. I haven't really looked at it. Look, the Patriots for me are under the radar. They've had some injuries, but their defense is extremely good. We saw what they did in the Super Bowl. I've got to like their chances. And the NFC, I haven't really looked at that close. There's 3 or 4 or 5 teams certainly in the conversation. But to me, in the AFC, until further notice, the New England Patriots, based on the strength of their defense, their head coach, and their quarterback, those are, and their division, if they run the table on the division, if they finish 13-3, 14-2, 12-4, and have home field advantage in the playoffs, 2 games to get to the Super Bowl, they'll have the inside track to defend the championship once again, unfortunately.
I mean, Judy Batista, I think, tweeted out on Labor Day, it's been since 2010 since Bill Belichick's won Coach of the Year.
Well, they can't give it to him every year. I mean, you got to give the devil his due.
Well, he cheats, too. I mean, there's that, right?
Well, look, he wins by any means necessary, and he'll be the defensive coordinator this year, the de facto defensive coordinator since Greg Schiano's no longer with the team, bailed on him a few months ago. So now you got one of the most brilliant defensive minds in NFL history also calling the plays and scheming out the defense to stop the offense. He's very much involved. He's hands-on, and he is the best in the business for none. He is the best on the Mount Rushmore of coaches. Love him or hate him, he's number one. He's up there.
Dennis Koulatsos will be here on Thursday from 3 until 5 doing the SSV on WNST. And, of course, if you're on the WNST tech service, you get the breaking news first, the 53, the scratches, the injury report. All of that's going to be coming your way. It's all brought to you by Coons Ford of Security Boulevard. Next time Dennis and I get together, the Ravens hopefully will be 1-0. We'll be getting together after the Miami victory on Sunday. I don't want to be too confident, but I am pretty confident. I'd be very unconfident if I get on the plane Sunday night and we haven't won this game this week. You can find all of our coverage out at WNST.net. Our morning newspaper ships each and every morning. It's all brought to you by our friends at Planet Fitness and PlanetFitness.com, where it's always $5 down and $10 a month. So many great sponsors around here, including Dennis Koulatsos, that keep us going now into our 22nd year. And Luke's out in Owings Mills all week long. I'll be in Miami this week. And we are out on Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn and Snapchat and Instagram and anywhere you travel. You can always throw me an email, nasty@WNST.net. We are WNST.net, AM 1570, WNST Towson, Baltimore. We never stop talking Baltimore sports.